friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am sharing with you this free ear warmer pattern. I'm calling it the perfect bow ear warmer because one, it looks like a bow, and two, it is so fast and so simple to make. You can literally whip this up in less than 30 minutes. It uses the moss stitch, which is just a combination of single crochet, chain one, skip one. So really simple. We make it in a long piece and then we bring those ends together, seam them, and then cinch this middle center and create this bow effect. And so as you can see, the moss stitch is just so simple but gives so much texture. And I like the fact that the seam is completely hidden right here in this bow. So all you're going to need is one skein of your favorite colorway in Woolies Thick and Quick by Lion Brand and a 9mm hook, or an in size if you're going by the letter. I will have all of the products that I use linked down below if you want to search through and look for stuff. And so without further ado, we're going to jump right in and get started. Okay, so to begin, we're just going to make ourselves a slip knot. I kind of leave approximately 6 inches for my tail, just so it's more easy to weave in. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to begin by chaining 57. So let's chain at 57. Okay, so we have 57 in our chain, and for row 1, in the 3rd chain from the hook, remember this loop right here on the hook does not count as the chain. These down here are where we're counting 3rd chain from the hook, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3. 3rd chain from the hook, we place a single crochet. And a single crochet is just insert, yarn over, draw up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. And then this is where the moss stitch pattern begins. We do a chain 1, skip that next stitch, place a single crochet into the next stitch. Chain 1, skip over that next stitch, and then single crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next stitch. So as you can see, if you've never done the moss or linen stitch as it's sometimes called, we're basically creating these little windows. And in order to give us this really cool window effect, we're placing those single crochets into those chain 1 spaces as we work our way up the rows. So it's just really simple: single crochet, chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next one. Chain 1, skip 1, single crochet into the next one. And because we're using this Woolies Thick and Quick and we're using such a large hook, once you get going along, it works up really fast. So I'm going to work this up to the end of the row, and I'm going to show you what to do at the end of the row. And then at the end we have just a chain 1, single crochet. and that completes row 1. Now we're going to chain 2 and we're going to turn. Now this chain 2 counts as a single crochet chain 1. So we're skipping over this first single crochet, and right here in the chain 1 space of the previous row, we're going to begin with our moss stitch immediately with just a single crochet, chain 1, skip over that single crochet, go into the space of the chain 1 from the previous row and work your single crochet. So as you can see, we're already getting the window effect with the single crochets going diagonal from one another or in the windows. So just chain 1, skip over the single crochet into the chain 1 space. And again, because we are using larger materials, it makes it a little easier to see this process than if you were using smaller materials. I do have 2 other patterns that I have designed. One is a sweater and one is a blanket that I can link down below for you to check out that uses this stitch if you find that you really enjoy the texture that this stitch offers. This is definitely such a great stitch for beginners because it does offer so much texture, but it's simple and it's easy. So just continue along row 2 doing this same combination of single crochets in the chain 1 spaces and then a chain 1 skip single crochet, and then I'll meet you at the end. Okay, so here at the end, I want to bring your attention to the fact that at the very beginning, we placed a single crochet in the 3rd chain from the hook. And by doing so, that created a chain 1 single crochet type of a situation. So at the very end on this first row, you just want to make sure that right here where your single crochet V is, right in that little space after, you want to finish off with a single crochet in that space and then do a chain 2. And from here, it's very repetitive. It's the same thing. That chain 2 counts as a single crochet chain 1. So it's just like we've already done the work. We're skipping over that first single crochet and immediately going into that chain 1 space and working a single crochet. And you're going to do this same thing over and over and over again until you have completed 12 rows. So go ahead, complete your 12 rows, and then come back to the video and I'm going to show you how to seam the sides together and create that fun bow silhouette. Okay, so I didn't have a whole skein. I was using this with scrap yarn, so I couldn't do the full 12, but nevertheless, I got enough to where I can show you how to seam and wrap the edges. So we're just going to pretend like this is a full 12 and it's to here. And once you're done, you're going to take your ends like this, and you're just going to make sure things are really nice and lined up. And you're going to just wrap back through this first one and come over to the other side and just simply single crochet, just like that. And as you work along, just make sure that everything is looking even. So you're just putting through both sides and then working your single crochet, just like that. So just go slow and just keep checking to make sure that the tops and bottoms are as even as possible. And do remember, we are going to be cinching this closed. So, I mean, it's not super important that you make sure everything is perfectly aligned, but I think in the long run it helps the warmer look better if even underneath the cinched part things are nice and clean. And so it's really simple. You just, like I said, want to make sure that things are staying aligned, and you're just trying to grab in a similar space across from like one panel to the next. So really, really simple, not too hard at all. And we're doing this type of a seaming rather than something that would be hidden because, like I said, once we gather it like the bow, it's going to be completely hidden and you're not going to even see any of this stuff. So that's why it's not that important. Okay, so if we take a look here for a second, I'm going to pull this tail out a little bit so we don't lose it. So this would be considered the wrong side, or it being inside out. So what I like to do is we're going to go ahead and flip it, okay, so that thicker part of the seam is nice and hidden. And if you think about a bow, you know, is gathered, but what I like to do is just kind of pinch here in the middle and then bring that part and bring that part. And it kind of helps to ensure that we get a nice little, I'm trying to think of the word, like a nice little bow effect. And I'm taking the tail and I'm just wrapping it tight. And we're just going to tie this like so. And again, I don't have as many rows as I normally would. So if it looks small, that's why. I just try to tie it as tight as I can before I start wrapping. And then I just make sure that like this section looks even and this section looks even, just really nice and symmetrical. We want everything to look nice. So I'm going to go grab a pair of scissors because I once again forgot my scissors. So 1 second, I'll be right back. And then I'm going to show you how to wrap and sew it closed. Okay, so basically now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tail and that loop part and I'm going to tie one more time just to tie it really, really tight to make sure it's nice and secure. And then we will begin the wrapping process. And so I'm just wrapping that tail around to hide it. And then I went ahead and snipped my yarn, and this is completely up to you and your style. You can go as thick with this wrapping as you want. I try to do at least 10 to 12 wraps, but again, this is completely up to you for the look that you want. I mean, you could go smaller like that, or you could go really, really thick where it's like a really, really thick knot. It's completely up to you. And I also think too, depending on the size that you make, if you're making a smaller size, obviously you wouldn't want it to be wrapped too many times. And then if you're making a larger size, you would definitely have the liberty to wrap more just because it's a bigger size. So once you have it wrapped, I think that looks perfect. You're going to take a tapestry needle and you're going to feed this yarn through. And so we've got it wrapped tight, we've got it pulled tight, and we want to kind of take this part, flip this over, and then we just want to weave in and out of the back side of the bow so that it's nice and hidden. You can't see any gathering or anything like that. It's just all back here, nice and hidden. And I just kind of wiggle it in and out of the fibers just to make sure that it's in there real well. You've got all that chunkiness that you can wrap it in and out of. Really, really simple, really easy. And I say do it like 4 or 5 times. So once you've done that, you want to take your scissors and you want to just get as close, pull tight and get as close to that as you can. Snip it. And then at this point, you can add your tag or whatever you want to it. And so this is it in 2 different colors. Obviously, this one has the full 12 rows. This is more of like a speckled yarn, more of a neutral, but It's absolutely perfect for wearing during the fall, during the winter. It's great for kids, it's great for adults. And as always, with all of my beanies, ear warmers, turbans, anything that goes on the head, you'll be able to head down below in the description box and click over to my website, and the printable PDF is completely free for you to download on my website. And yeah, that's it. This is super simple. That's why I'm calling it the perfect bow ear warmer. I just love it. I think it's very cute. And when you're using the Lion Brand Woolies Thick and Quick, because they have so many color options, you really will have a hard time not finding something that fits your style or what you like. And this is a great piece for last minute gifts or for making for market prep if you sell at markets, or if you want to sell online. You have full permission to do that, just as long as you give credit to the designer. So with that all said, be sure you like and subscribe, turn on bell notifications, and share this video with friends. That really helps me out a lot. Spread the word about Yarn Hook Needles, and I will see you in tomorrow's video.